Y'all, it's time for some damn good tacos in college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchys Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattison. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchys is the place. Torchys' location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory. Torchys has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchys has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs.
And everybody, welcome and good evening, Razorback Nation. It is Thursday, November 21st, and welcome to the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk. I'm Jason Pattison. We are here live at Torchys Tacos in Rogers, as we are every Thursday night at 7 p.m. I want to give a huge thank you and shout out to Marcus, which happens to be right here beside me, and the rest of the crew with their great hospitality they show us each and every time we are here. You can always click on the link and to like and subscribe on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen to subscribe to the Hogville YouTube channel, where you can watch past shows with Otis, Dudley, Kevin, and Marshall. Be sure to stop by either of the 2 Torchys locations here in Rogers or Fayetteville, which happen to be the only 2 locations in the great state of Arkansas. Try their queso that's made fresh daily in-house with the taco of the month, which happens to be, as you guys all kind of already know. Let me get this pulled up here. There she is. That would be the Gambler right there, y'all. So the Gambler quesadilla, that thing is pretty stinking good. I'm not going to lie. I've had that myself. So you can pair that with the queso or any of their damn good tacos on their menu and open your taste buds to a whole new world. Also want to give a special thanks to Carbless Cocktails. You can try any of their 9 different flavors that they have either here at Torchys or any of your grocers or any place, honestly, in Northwest Arkansas or in the state of Arkansas. They are 0 sugar, 0 carbs with 100 calories. They offer 8 different flavors in vodka and 1 that is in tequila. And I'm going to bring those up really quick. You got black raspberry, pineapple, cranberry, lemon, lime. Got lemon, also passion fruit, black cherry, and peach, all in vodka. And then they have the margarita cocktail as well. So, this Saturday, 1 p.m., Marcus, it's going to be myself and Marshall at the Fayetteville store, and catch us at their place. It was a great time this last weekend against Texas. They had the store completely all done up. It looked great. Had a great time with Jonathan and his crew down there. And make sure to jump on with us live in Fayetteville if you're in town for the game, or watch at the link below and with all of our social media posts. Also, if you mention Hogville at the register, you will receive a 15% knock off your total bill at the register. And I want to say congratulations to, and I've got this guy pulled up here. Hold on here. FJD, he was the closest pick for the Arkansas-Texas score, so he will win a $25 gift certificate to Torchys. Just get a hold of us on social media. If not, I'll get a hold of you on the Hogville website, also with One High Hog as well. He was the week before his winner. So let's go ahead and bring him on. The man, the myth, and the legend, Otis Kirk. Otis, how you doing, my guy?
Been great, man. When I came on, I saw Marcus and I went, God dang. I said, damn, man, I've gotten younger and better looking.
Hey, look, the best,
yeah, I'm thinking, damn, man, I'm better looking, young. I mean, what, you know.
I was trying to be like you, man. I had to channel my inner Otis.
Man, I'm going to tell you.
I got that yellow Lakers shirt working under this white one. I know that looks goofy, but I'm sorry. I forgot I had the Lakers shirt, the LeBron shirt on, and I threw this Hogbill shirt on over it, so I have a little bit of yellow sticking out, but I've got the Hogbill working, man.
There you go. You're pulling it off, Otis.
Yeah, man. I wanted to go ahead and bring on Marcus tonight because he's got some stuff coming around the corner here with the holidays coming up, and he's got some pretty great specials that you guys can pick up here in store.
Oh, yeah. So as you guys know, it's holiday season, and our good guys at Hogville let me come on and kind of talk to you guys about what we have to offer. So, holidays come around. We always talk about what are we going to give our people? Are we going to give them gift cards? Are we going to do this and that and the third? We're trying to help you guys with that. We are doing a gift card special. For every $25 that you spend, we throw in an additional $5 bonus card that you guys can use to either for yourself for a future order or to add on to that gift that you guys pass around during holiday season. And we even want to make it a little bit sweeter. We did a deal last year. It went off really, really well. So we're doing it again. It is a queso card. And with those queso cards, you buy one, with the price of gift cards, and it'll allow you to get 1 year of queso. 1 year each day of queso that you guys can get with that comeback. With that queso card, it does come with a $250 gift card purchase that has to come first. But I did the numbers on it. As long as you come in twice a month for those 12 months, you're making your money back. And I think once every 2 weeks for some delicious, damn good queso really ain't that bad of a deal. It's a pretty good steal, in all honesty.
So you're telling me that I could spend $250 on that gold queso card?
Yes.
And I can get queso every day, 365 quesos for that entire year?
I've had some people try their best to make that challenge, but yeah, that's 100% correct. 365 days. Now, if you ask me if I can actually eat queso 365 days in a row, I'd be a little hard pressed. But that's not to say that people haven't tried.
I believe I could do the trailer park tacos and the chips and salsa for 365 days a year.
And it's a
I love those trailer park tacos they've got up there, man. I haven't tried the burrito. I'm sure it's great too. I just haven't tried it, but the taco is awesome. It's chips, salsa, and a Coke. That's what I get every week, man.
I think I'm going to give the breakfast burrito a run this weekend.
That breakfast burrito is so serious. Chorizo, potatoes, beans, cheese, queso. That thing is probably one of the better additions that we've had. 100%.
I've got a bulldog pushing on me. If you're wondering why I'm moving, I've got a bulldog pushing on my back. I don't know what he's doing. I have no idea. He's pushing me, though.
Wrangle that dude in, man. Wrangle that guy in.
Come on, LeBron. I want to see you. You want to go in there? LeBron, come here.
Otis, I got to ask you this.
Hmm?
What is going on with Bronny saying that he is just as good as Luka?
Who said that?
Bronny did. He said that in an interview.
That stuff's all fake, man. People make that stuff up. That's fake stuff, man.
Okay.
Bronny didn't say that. Bronny's the most modest kid in the world. Promise you, he didn't say that. There's a lot of fake stuff out there, man. They do that, and it gets lots of hits for those idiots that allow it. I don't know why that stuff's allowed, but it's completely fake. He didn't say that.
Man, let's go ahead and hash this out real quick. Last Saturday, get this taken off the screen here. And I'm telling you, man. So our Texas was able to bleed out that last 6:55 of the game, and that honestly, other than the CJ Brown fumble, that really was that was the dagger that put Arkansas away. Was that long drive there to run the clock out?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you for quite a while there, so I don't know what all was said. But yeah, I don't know what happened. All I could see was the deal you had on the screen, so I couldn't hear you at all.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I was just. Oh, go ahead. You're good.
Well, that last drive, the 2 turnovers as usual. It killed them. I mean, it's what's always they're 5-5. The 5 games they've won the turnover battle. The 5 games they've lost the turnover battle. People can debate all this stuff about what's the most important thing, all they want to, but I mean, it comes down to one thing. I mean, if they don't turn the ball over, they're not 5-5 right now. They're better than that, and it's killed them. And they would have lost. Ole Miss actually kicked their butts. Other than that, really, no one has. People will say LSU, but Jason Marks, it was 16-10 with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And what happened? He threw an interception there. Ball got tipped, took over the 2-yard line. They scored, made 24-10. The game's over, and they scored 10 more points. But it was 16-10. Arkansas had the ball with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. That was not a blowout. The Ole Miss game was, but it comes down to this: they've got to stop turning that dang ball over. If they do, they've got a great chance to win both these games left. If they don't, they could lose them both. They could lose to Louisiana Tech. People think they can't lose that game. Yes, they can. They go out there and play lackadaisical and turn the ball over. They will lose the game.
It could be like what happened with UAB towards the first of the season, where there was a couple of turnovers and there was some hard sledding in the first half until Arkansas was able to make some separation in the second half. Again, we've talked about this. This team is not good enough to play from behind. They have to play ahead. If they don't play ahead this weekend, they're going to have to possibly looking at Missouri to get bowl eligible.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. They've never won in Columbia since they've joined the SEC. Not saying they can't. There's been plenty of games they should have won and could have won, but they're good. Should have, could have, would have. No, the best thing to do is take care of business at home Saturday and then let Missouri fall as it may. But, John the Baptist picked Louisiana Tech this weekend,
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. I don't want him to be the only one to get it right. So the Hogs got to win this Saturday, man. John the Baptist, big head of people, he's the only one that gets it right, So we've got to look him down in the standings here a little bit, I'm
gonna buy him a taco if he ends up guessing that right, man. I'm gonna tell you what,
He's gonna need it.
he's gonna need it too. And somebody had actually commented on John whenever you had posted my column for this week. One of the people had mentioned on there and said, "Does John know something that we don't?"
No, I don't know. I haven't talked to John. I exchanged text with him a little bit, not about that though, but I don't think so. I don't know. He's picked against Arkansas 2 or 3 weeks in a row. I mean, I remember one game last year. No idea which game it was, but I remember he was the only one that picked. I think he was the only one that picked Arkansas to win, maybe. And Arkansas won, or maybe he was the only one that picked them to lose. But I think last year against someone, I think it was Florida. That's what it was. He picked Arkansas to beat Florida. No one else did, and John was right. John got that right. It was Florida. That's the game it was. He picked Arkansas to win that game, and he was the only one at Hogville that got that right. And Kevin was even in the contest then, but John the Baptist got that one right, man. We heard about that for a week or two.
Man, that's the thing too, is that Arkansas cannot afford to lose this game.
No. Oh, it's going to get ugly if they do.
I'm almost willing to go on a limb and say that if Arkansas loses the Louisiana Tech game, they're going to lose the Missouri game. They won't be bowl eligible, and there might be all bets might be off with Sam and his security here.
Yeah, but it's a shame too because this team's plenty good. They should not be. They should not be in this predicament anyway. They're a lot better team than 5-5 anyway, and Oklahoma State was a game they just absolutely just gave away.
They're 3-7 this year. Oklahoma State is 3-7 right now at this point.
They were number 16 at the time, and I said Oklahoma State was not that good. I picked Arkansas by 2 touchdowns. People thought that's crazy. I said they're not that good, and it turned out they aren't. But I mean, I saw that then. They beat Arkansas, and they moved up to number 12. They pounced Tulsa, but then they didn't win another. They haven't won since then, as far as I know. So I mean, because they're a directional school to start the season. So they 3-0 out of the gate, but they weren't that good, and I knew it then. And I picked Arkansas to beat them by 2 touchdowns, and they should have. They were up big. You were there. You and I and John and Jerry were there. Arkansas was up big at the half, and then just gave the game. Even then, it wouldn't even been that close except for a pick 6. Taylor got his. He threw, and the Oklahoma State guy picked it off and went for a touchdown, and then. Later in the game, he pitched it out to Quindon. He took his eye off the ball for just a minute, fumbled it. Then Isaiah on a punt return got a freshman got blocked into him and caused him to fumble that ball. So
Cross Johnson.
There again, it's the same thing. 3 turnovers, missed field goals. it was just one thing after another. They gave that. That's the game. Arkansas right now should be setting it worst 6-4.
Yeah.
Worse. Then you're looking at a different scenario, Jason and Marcus. If you're 6-4 right now, you beat Louisiana Tech, you're 7-4. Then if you did beat Missouri, you're sitting there 8-4. Right now, I'm looking at probably I'm gonna assume they beat Louisiana Tech, and I'm gonna assume they lose to Missouri. Right now, you're talking 6-6. You're talking Liberty Bowl or Birmingham Bowl in all likelihood. If you're 8-4, you're sitting there looking at the Texas Bowl or something better. You know, you're looking at a pretty good bowl game at 8-4.
Maybe even Nashville.
6-6, you're going to take West. It's probably going to be Birmingham. I don't even know if that 6-6 will get you the Liberty Bowl. It might.
Yeah. 6-6, I would think it would get you the Liberty Bowl, because if you go 6-6, that's going to put Missouri at probably 8-4. Yeah. They'll probably go to Las Vegas, or to Charlotte.
Yeah, see, Arkansas, I don't want to go to Charlotte anyway. I don't know what it's called now. It used to be the Belt Bowl, but I don't want to go there. I hope they can have that. Be a good
I think it's the Duke Mayo Bowl. I think it's out.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. I saw a deal the other day, though, where 2 SEC teams weren't even picked for that. So I don't know if that's not affiliated with the SEC anymore, but if it's not, it suits me. Vegas would be Sweet Bowl to go to. Sweet Bowl would be Vegas. They're not going at 6-6. Now, if they were to win out and go 7-5, you know, that they might get a little bit better bowl than Birmingham or Liberty, but the Liberty Bowl is not a bad bowl. People talk about Memphis and stuff, but man, I've been to that Liberty Bowl. Oh God, 3 or 4 or 5 times, and they treat you well over there. It's a very organized bowl game.
Yeah, Harold Grader does a great job too with that.
Yeah, huh?
Harold Grader does a great job with them.
Great job with it, man. It's very organized. There's nothing wrong with the Liberty Bowl. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Birmingham, I've never been to the Birmingham Bowl. Been to Birmingham. I've never been to the Birmingham Bowl, but I don't really. I mean, hey, but they may very well. When you're 6-6, you take what you get, and they may end up in Birmingham. I don't know if 6-6 will even get them to Memphis. It might. Because you're looking probably at Vanderbilt. You know, there's going to be some teams wanting, some of these bowls are going to be wanting Vanderbilt because they haven't been to a bowl game in quite a while. So some teams are going to be wanting them because their fans are going to be excited about where it's. But the thing about the Liberty Bowl, they know that Eastern Arkansas will turn out for them over there. You know it. And I like it for that sense that a lot of fans may get to go to see that game that may have not got to see Arkansas all season anyway, or not much, maybe once, you know, and couldn't make it
Little Rock
because of the Thursday night kickoff. You know, some of the fans couldn't. So that Liberty Bowl would be. There's nothing wrong with the Liberty Bowl. People, no, that's not a bad bowl game at all.
That would be my pick, honestly. I mean, what would you think, Marcus?
Yeah, I think that'd be a good opportunity. You know, getting them to the Liberty Bowl, everything like you said, Otis, really pretty area. You know, the staff there takes really good care of everybody, and they're renovating that place too. So they can expect some big changes coming up in the future. Okay. And just like you said, I think it would be a good turnout for Arkansas, and being the neighbors to the state of Tennessee, all those guys be able to come down and show out for their team. It'd be good to get some more visibility as well, for sure.
I'm trying to figure out how many. I'm sorry if I look goofy. I'm counting. I'm trying to figure out how many. Bobby Petrino went to the bowl game. They played East Carolina and won in overtime on a very, very, very cold night.
Yeah, I remember that.
Bielema beat Kansas State.
Yeah, Kansas State. That was Alex Collins' game where he went running wild.
All right, they beat
his
Kansas
last game as a
State.
Hog.
Pittman beat Kansas there, so that's 3.
Yep.
I know at least 3 Liberty Bowls I've been to. Since I moved up here in 97. I know at least 3 of them I've been to 3 Liberty Bowls. Great bowl game. I mean, those people run it well. I have no idea. I think it's a lot better now. When I went to the Music City Bowl when Arkansas played Minnesota, I wasn't impressed at all with the organization there. I've heard they've changed it. It's a lot better, but it wasn't very well ran, organized, or anything when Arkansas played Minnesota there several years ago. But the Birmingham Bowl, like I said, I've just never been to. I know it's probably realistic at 6-6. It's probably, honestly, it may be very well where they end up, but we'll see on that. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, they got to win a game first, so we not worry about a bowl game. You know, we may change or whatever. You know, and I'm not trying to remember, but I mean, if they lose to Louisiana Tech, and I don't know that Sam can keep his job. I really don't. I hope he can. I hope they don't lose to Louisiana Tech first, but. I don't want to go through a coaching change right now. I really don't. I know some fans do it. I get it, but I just right now, but it's tough right now though with recruiting to go through a coaching change because man, the early signing day is the 4th through the 6th of December, so they moved it up. You're dead. You're dead in the water if you have a coaching change right now, man. That early signing period, so it's going to be interesting. And the way it's set up now, there may not be a change in the SEC this year. Head coaching change. There may not be. I think buyouts will keep Hugh Freeze and maybe Brian Kelly. I don't know if they would fire Brian Kelly, but I'll tell you what, I don't know how they're going to end up.
They've underperformed this year with him too.
They have really I mean, a normal year they might fire him, but he's got a huge buyout. I think he'll get at least another year. I thought Billy Napier would get fired, but I thought that last year, and they're not firing him. So I don't know if Sam beats Tech. I honestly don't think there's going to be a coaching change in the SEC. I'm talking about at the top in the SEC this year, guys.
Yep, and that's another thing too with revenue sharing coming up right around August timeframe next year. That is going to freeze a lot of coaches getting fired. I mean, look at Mike Norvell over at Florida State. 1-9. He has a $70 million buyout. They are going to have to sit there and take the suck for the next couple of years. And you have Florida that has a possibility now. They've got 5 wins. They're playing Florida State at the end of the year. There's a good chance that they're going to be bowl eligible when this thing is said and done. If they're bowl eligible, nobody saw that coming at the first of the season.
Yeah, I wouldn't fire Norvell anyway. I think he's a good coach. I don't know what's happened. I know one thing that happened. They lost a ton of players to the NFL. Now, they should not be this bad, but I don't know what's snowballed there. But I'm telling you, Mike Norvell is a good coach. They'd be silly to fire him, even with let's forget the buyout. I get that, what you're saying, and what you're saying is correct. But Norvell's a good coach, and I don't know what's happened to them this year. I'm not on the inside at Florida State, but I've actually got a good friend on the coaching staff there, and I may call him the next day or two just see, what's happened. Because I'd be interested because I know Norvell can coach. I know he can.
Oh, yeah.
But they have really fallen on hard times, and they've taken. I mean, hey, look, Michigan lost a lot of players in the NFL, and they're not as good, but they're not. Florida State bad. Florida State's really bad this year. They shouldn't be as bad as they are. But with that said, they should not fire Norvell, and they won't. But even without the buyout, they shouldn't fire him. He is a good coach. I mean, he's a good coach. He wouldn't be free agent very long.
No, and you know what, Otis? I want to give you some props for just a second because you took some lumps for the last couple of weeks of saying that Arkansas matched up better against Texas than they did LSU. And by God, you were right.
Oh, you mean Alabama?
Alabama, yes, Alabama.
Yeah. I said it all along. I mean, Arkansas finds ways to lose to Alabama, man. And, I mean, I didn't understand what everybody was in such a tizzy about. I mean, it's just an opinion. But, no, I mean, Texas was not it's not unbeatable. I mean, Arkansas have played a clean game. They might have beaten them, but they didn't play a clean game, as we know. But, no, it didn't bother. I mean, I really thought it was better to play Texas than it was Alabama. Alabama right now is playing really good football, and they would have probably beaten Arkansas worse than 20. No doubt in my mind they would have beaten Arkansas worse than 20-10. But Arkansas, look, man, they haven't beaten them since Houston Nutt was the head coach and Gus Malzahn was the offensive coordinator. I mean, I'm dumb, but I mean, I'm not ignorant so bad that I can't see, man. I mean, they have not beaten Alabama. Let that sink in. The last time they beat Alabama, Mitch Mustang was the quarterback. Houston Nutt was the head football coach, and Gus Malzahn was the offensive coordinator. That's how long it's been since they've beaten Alabama. So don't right there and try to tell me, I'd rather play them than Texas. Good luck with that. Probably in all honesty and truthfully, Arkansas was going to lose to either one of them. They were going to lose to either one of them probably anyway. But no, you give me both of them, knowing what I knew then and what I know now. I still take you're going to do a do-over. I still take Texas play Texas again. I think Arkansas, if they'd have played a perfect game, and that's about what it would have taken they might have beat Texas.
And there's all likelihood, I should say, if CJ doesn't fumble that ball and Arkansas goes down there and score, that's a 3-point game with 7 minutes left in the game.
Arkansas
that is a completely.
Arkansas had all the momentum at that point.
Yeah.
I'm talking about if they had scored a touchdown. Arkansas,
the complexion of the game is completely different.
Yeah, and they're not going to go on that long. I don't think had CJ not fumbled there at Arkansas, let's say they went down and scored a touchdown, made it 20-17. I do not think Texas would have gone on a long drive to milk the clock like they did. I think once they fumbled, I think the defense kind of just like, here we go again, and it just, even mentally, maybe they didn't even feel like they felt that way, but I think deep down, it was like, here we go again. What's the point? And I do believe if Arkansas had scored maybe 20-17, they would have gotten the ball back and had a chance to either kick a field goal and tie or score a touchdown and beat them. I really think that fumble was huge, man. That was huge.
It was. And I feel bad for the kid, too, because, CJ's a good kid. I've talked to him before when he was at Bentonville.
Great.
Yeah.
And he's a great player, great kid. It just was an unfortunate circumstance. I mean, and he did everything right. He had the ball. He had it cradled. He had it secured. It's just the Texas player made a great individual effort.
My question might be, it's nothing against CJ, but he's a true freshman. You've got Isaiah Satina sitting there. Similar, why would you not use him on that? Because Sam said they practiced that play with CJ all week. Why would you not use Isaiah in that situation?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, why put a freshman in there for his only play of the day, the only catch of the day, and put him in that situation? And that's okay. That's hindsight. Yeah, it is. But I mean, I feel like that's a legit question. Why not use Satina in that situation instead of?
Why don't you run that play in the first quarter instead of the fourth quarter?
Yeah,
that's the other question I've got.
There's plenty of questions we have, but yeah, I mean, that's just one play. CJ, I mean, they had that. They had chances, and the first interception, Tyrone Broden lets the ball go right between his hands and it was intercepted. That people can go on Taylor Green all they want to. That was not on Taylor Green. That was simply on Tyrone Broden. I mean, that ball was perfectly thrown there to catch, and he lets it go through his hands, and they intercepted. And that's not on Taylor Green. Now he's thrown plenty, and he's thrown something. I'm not acting like Taylor's without fault. I'm just saying that play, I saw people ripping him on the internet and social media and stuff, and I'm thinking, you guys don't know what you're talking about. That ball should have been called. In fact, I saw a former player say that's not on Taylor, a former Razorback, played on Facebook. That is not on Taylor, that's on Broden. And he started getting ripped. And I went on there, and I mean, during the game, I don't do much on social. You guys know that on social media during the game. I don't have time. But I went on there, and I said, he's 100% right. That was on Tyrone. That was not on Taylor.
And you didn't see Tyrone in the second half either, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. Did he play? I don't know if he played after that play or not. I really don't.
Yeah. I don't think. I don't know if he saw the field after that.
I mean, but I think the coaching staff knew who it was on. I mean, that was on Tyrone 100%. Not knocking him, but I'm just stating the fact. But I'm not going to sit there and let people take shots at Taylor. There's times, like I said, there's plenty of times when Taylor very deserving of any criticism. Like what was he doing? What was he thinking? Yeah, he holds the ball. Yeah, he throws some interceptions. But that play, that was I don't know if it was perfectly thrown, but it was a dang good pass. It should have been caught, and that's not on Taylor.
No, it wasn't. And one of the things that I also want to talk about too really quick is whenever Arkansas came out in the first quarter, I looked at Dudley and I saw that 3-high safety look. Quinn Ewers hasn't seen a 3-high safety look all season. And I'm going to tell you what, Larry Worth did a great job in the defensive backfield. Was it Larry Worth or was it
Miguel Mitchell?
No. Was it Larry that they had in the 3-high safety with Jaden and TJ?
No, it was Larry Worth, Miguel Mitchell, and the Slaughter, Danico Slaughter.
Yeah, Danico. Okay. Yeah, and so whenever they put that 3-high safety look out there, that confused him. They kept running it all game because it was great. I mean, they did a great job in containing Quinn Ewers. He didn't have a game like he had the week before against Florida where he was picking up chunk yard after chunk yard, 10, 12 yards every play. He was getting limited. The defense played great. That first half, they were feeding off the fans' energy. You could see it. It was palpable on Landon Jackson's body, however you want to call it, his body language. You could see these guys were feeding off of the fans for that entire first half, and that's what kept him in the game to begin with.
Yeah, I don't know why Arkansas doesn't do that 3-2-6 more often. They did that against Tennessee. It's the best defensive game they played. They ran it Saturday against Texas. I I don't know why they don't show that Saturday against Louisiana Tech going forward. I mean, in Missouri
I
too.
would.
I mean, and I hate to see TJ didn't get to start. I know they played him a lot, but I hate to see him lose his job without getting beat out on the field. I feel like that's what's happened. But I hope TJ gets back in there starting pretty soon. But that's not my decision. But I've got an opinion on it. But that's all it is, my opinion. But I'd like to see. But I do think that 3-2-6 is good defense. I know, whether it's a great defense or not, all I know, they've had more success with that than they have any other defense they've tried this year. When the Ole Miss game was a complete disaster. LSU just nickel and dimed them to death all night, picked them apart with their short passes. And, Nussmeier taking what Arkansas was giving. But I liked the defense Saturday. They played plenty well enough. You hold Texas to 20 points, Arkansas should have won.
You got a chance.
Yeah,
you got a
gave
chance.
them every chance. And I really believe deep down in my heart that if Arkansas had scored, made it 20-17, I think they might have found a way to win that ball game. I really do. I felt like once they got the ball back and was moving the ball there, I thought, Arkansas got all the momentum. And then when CJ fumbled, it just kind of like the interception with Taylor against LSU. You could just see the error come out of Arkansas at that point. But it wasn't as obvious Saturday with the fumble by CJ, but it was later in the game too. And I felt like them was there. That was the last chance for Arkansas to have a chance to win that game. But then I had somebody say, well, but Texas went on that long drive anyway. It wouldn't have mattered. I don't think they would have gone on that long drive had Arkansas scored that.
Yeah.
No, understand, Arkansas would have had all the momentum in the world had they scored a touchdown there.
Yeah, you would have saw more energy like you did in the first two quarters, really. So again,
100%, man.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We're going to take a quick break here in just a minute. Well, on the other side, we're going to talk a little bit about what Louisiana Tech and what they are able to do well, and what Arkansas is going to have to prepare for coming up this Saturday. This is the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk live here at Torchys and Roger.
Y'all, it's time for some damn good tacos in college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchys Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattison. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchys is the place. Torchys' location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory. Torchys has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchys has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs.
And everybody, welcome back to the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk. I'm Jason Pattison. Thank you all for joining us tonight here live at Torchys, as we are here every Thursday night at 7 p.m. So I want to thank Marcus for coming on. Leighton, he's been over here too with us before. Marcus was able to jump on with us. He was telling me, Otis, man, you start talking about Memphis. That's where Marcus is from, and whenever you start talking about Memphis, man, he got a lot to say about it too.
Yeah. I just know that bowl. Everybody just, I don't want to go to Memphis. They run a good. I can't talk now. They run a good bowl game. They're very organized, and I mean, you pick this first of the season, you say this is where I want Arkansas to go. You're not going to say the Liberty Bowl. I get that, but like I said, when you're 6-6, 7-5, you don't necessarily get to pick. Well, you don't get to pick where you go, and you just hope. And I know that's, to me, is a much better game trip than the Birmingham Bowl. But hey, but look, I mean, Arkansas can get to a bowl game. They'll go where they send them, and we'll obviously cover the game. So
it's a hell of a lot better than 4-8.
Yeah, definitely. 6-6 is better than 4-8, and 7-5 would be even better to beat Missouri, because I'd love to beat Drinkwitz, man. I'd love to stick it to them right there in Columbia, Missouri. There's been so many. The one time that I went up there was when Matt Morris was the coach, and they beat Arkansas 38-0 that day. That was the one time that Missouri has just killed Arkansas. But other than that, there's been some really close games up there, man. Came down to the last play of the game a few times and stuff.
Yeah.
Missouri's always won, but there's been some really, really, really tight games up there. So we'll see what happens this year. I don't think it'll be a blowout either way, but we'll see what happens. I know they were very, very, very fortunate to beat OU a couple of weeks ago up there in Columbia. I mean, they were so fortunate to win that game, man. They were
super lucky.
They heck of a comeback Saturday. I wasn't watching it, but I was a little bit for a while. But yeah, I mean, they almost came back and won that game. It's crazy. So they were down big in that game. They were played under Drinkwitz. I'll give him that much credit. I don't like the guy, but they do play hard under him. And they're like Arkansas. They missed their kicker this year. They had a very reliable kicker, and they missed.
Harrison Mevis was great.
Yeah. They miss him. So they've had some issues. They've had some issues with kicking game, just like Arkansas has. It seems like Arkansas now, as soon as I say this, he's going to come out and miss 3 or 4 kicks Saturday. But field goals. But
please don't jinx him, Otis. Please don't jinx him.
Yeah, I'm probably going to jinx the kid. Well, hopefully they don't have to try 5 field goals first place. Hopefully 5 extra points, point after touchdown, PATs. But I feel like what I was going to say is I feel like he's done a little bit better job than the other kid did since he's gotten started there in the job. It seems like he's getting a little bit more consistent as the season goes on, and we'll see. But Arkansas really needs to get points when they get down there, and there's been a couple of times this year, including the Oklahoma State game, where they didn't get any points. I know people say, I want 7. Well, 7's great, but 3's better than nothing, And if they'd have just gotten 3 one more time against Oklahoma State earlier in that game, or before the overtime, they would have won that game. And so that's why you want to get points when you're down there, be it 7 or 3. You want 7, but if you don't get 7, you sure want 3. You don't want to settle for. You don't end up with nothing.
Yep. I'm looking ahead a little bit here with this La Tech game on Saturday. They're led by Evan Bullock, quarterback. He's completed about 68% of his passes. He's got 12 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, 1,500 yards. They've started to mature their running game as the seasons come along. Sam talked about that a little bit with Amari Wiggins. Leads the team with 351 yards on 83 carries. He only has 1 touchdown. Their guy that they kind of zero in on to get their touchdowns through the ground in the red zone is Jimmy Holiday. He's got 4 touchdowns on 40 carries. He leads the team in rushing touchdowns. They only have 10 as a team for the entire season.
Yeah, their offense has not been very good. Now I'll say this: the quarterback, like you said, has only thrown two interceptions all season, so he's not going to do anything to beat himself. But their offense is pretty pedestrian. Their defense is better.
Yes.
Former Zach Zemos used to play at Arkansas, was on that defense, plays linebacker.
He's one of their anchors
on the team.
Yeah, he's one of their anchors on the defensive side of the ball. Colby. He's also second, Otis, in the team on tackles as well, 54.
That's why I said second on the team in tackles.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I meant anyway. Yeah, 54 tackles, 19 solo, a half a sack, and 1 pass breakup, I think is what it is, or something. I can't read my own writing, but he's
pass
tackles, 19 solos. So yeah, I remember Zach when he was at Arkansas. He came out of the Houston area, if I remember correctly, in recruiting, and Arkansas tried him at linebacker. They tried him at safety and messed around. Never really got to play much here, but he's done a good job there at Tech. But their defense is better than their offense. They beat Western Kentucky 12-7. Saturday
last week.
Yeah, so they're not going. They're well. I mean, they shouldn't score very many points against Arkansas. So Arkansas can hold on to the ball and make. And that's what I'm saying about getting points when they're down there, man. Don't come up empty. Get points. Get points. Get points. 3, 7, 3, 6, 7. Add those points up because Texas shouldn't be able to score very many points against Arkansas. So you should be able to beat them if you get points when you have opportunities to do so. And Talon and Quindon and Braylon Russell and Andrew Armstrong, Lucas, those guys, Isaiah Satana, this is a big day Saturday. We'll see.
And one of the things that I'm looking at too is with that defensive secondary with Louisiana Tech, they only have 4 interceptions this season, no touchdowns on the defensive side of the ball. And if I'm going to want to look at this really quick, and they've only got 18 sacks on defense. Yeah. What they're doing is they're not getting to the quarterback. They're not making that big play to give themselves a chance. They're just making great tackles.
Yeah.
So if Arkansas is able to get in space, there's a good possibility, unless there's an errant throw that we've seen. It seems like Talon's got one of those times each game that he's given the ball away. If he can limit that, Arkansas's got a great chance. They're a 22-point favorite so far.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Just don't beat yourself in that game Saturday. And if you do that, you should be in good shape against Louisiana Tech because they don't have the firepower on offense, and they don't have really a defense that's aggressive and turns you over. They don't have that. So unless you just go out there and beat yourself, they should not have the ingredients to beat Arkansas. They don't have an explosive offense. They don't have an aggressive defense that's forcing teams to turn the ball over. So Arkansas should be in the driver's seat. We'll see. But we all know how that goes. I mean, if you come out there and it's a cake, thinking it's going to be a cakewalk, and you come out there and it's you sleepwalk for the first half and you get behind. The longer that Louisiana Tech stays in the game, the more dangerous they're going to be. If you go out there and give them a knockout punch in the first quarter, you're going to win that ball game. If you let them hang around, you go in the fourth quarter and it's a ball game, Arkansas might be in trouble, Jason. I'm just telling you, man.
No, I agree.
Out on them you need to put the knockout on them in the first half. It should be over at halftime. Then you go out here in the second half and take care of business and don't let up. Put your foot on the gas and leave it there, man.
This needs to be a 31-3 halftime score. If Arkansas is
in great shape, man. That's the king. It should be in great shape if they do that. It should be. But you've got to go out there and do it. You can't. You can talk about it all day, but if you don't go out there and do it, it's. What I'm saying is just that. Arkansas just. I mean, Louisiana Tech just doesn't have the things that when you look at that, that's going to cost. It's just like I said, an experienced quarterback really gives Arkansas fits. I've said that. Nussmeier, Bowman, yours. I'm missing one. The kid. Jackson Dart. So the experienced quarterback beats Arkansas or gives them fits anyway. That's what I'm saying. The wide receivers who got a lot of speed. See, Louisiana Tech doesn't have all this stuff. They don't have a defense like the Ole Miss and stuff that leads the nation in sacks and tackles for loss or up among the top in the country. Ole Miss up there near the top. Texas was really good in that area. See, Louisiana Tech's not. That's what I'm saying. The formula's there for Arkansas to have some success. The biggest thing, just don't let them hang around and think it's a ball game in the fourth quarter, because if you do, you may be in for a dread. You don't want to be another Western Kentucky game when Chad Morris was here.
Oh, good Lord, no.
All
right, y'all.
You don't want Zach Zemos to have his tie story day.
No, you've got to limit that. You have got to limit that. All right, Otis, is one of your favorite parts of the show here today. We're looking at the SEC today. Yeah. We're looking at the matchups this weekend. So, first off, 11 a.m. ABC. Ole Miss travels to Florida. Ole Miss is an 11.5-point favorite. It seems like Florida does this whole up and down. This is the weekend that they're down. I fully anticipate them getting throttled by Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a buzzsaw right now, and Florida takes that opportunity next week to get bowl eligible against Florida State. But this week, I think they get hammered.
Yeah, Ole Miss probably, honestly, Ole Miss may be the best team in the SEC right now. How they lost to Kentucky, I say this every week on here, and I know that, and I know it probably gets old hearing it, but how they lost to Kentucky, I have no idea. But they did. But I think right now, honestly, Ole Miss may be the best team in the SEC. If they're not, they're certainly there, and they're going to be a hard knockout in the playoffs. Somebody is going to have to really play well to beat them. They're going to be a tough ticket to face, and no matter who it is, I don't care if it's Oregon, Ohio State, who it is that plays them, Penn State or anybody, they're going to be in for a dogfight against Ole Miss eventually.
They are. Again, 11 a.m. on ABC. So, got Georgia. They are hosting Massachusetts, 11:45 SEC Network. 42.5-point favorite going into this one. I'm fully anticipate this thing to be over before it starts, really.
Yeah.
I don't see really too much of this. I mean, yeah, I think this is going to be a roundhouse kick to the throat for
I honestly think
UMass.
Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, and Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, and Alabama are the 4 best teams in the SEC, I think.
This is Massachusetts, UMass's third game against SEC opponents this year. They lost earlier in the season to Mizzou 45-3, and then a couple of weeks ago to Mississippi State 45-20. It's kind of interesting to see that they're playing a lot more SEC teams. I mean, they're not holding water against them at this point, but they're scheduling SEC teams. I wonder if they're trying to maybe say, hey, come play for us. You may not be able to make their team, but we're playing them. So if you wanted your chance, we'll give you your shot.
Yeah, I like playing them instead of Oklahoma State. I've been a good game to play. I mean, UAPB.
You almost got me to curse on here.
Things like that, man. I mean,
yeah,
I'm doing that.
Yeah, 11:40. What's that?
Oh, I said I'm doing the easy schedule if I'm the AD, man. I'm getting Arkansas 4 wins in 9 conference. Then they got to, that's where I'm going if I'm the AD, and I'm not the AD. I know people thanking God for that, but I'm just saying. But I promise you, I'd be trying to find me 4 wins in 9 conference instead of Notre Dame and going to Memphis and stuff like that.
Again, 11:45 on the SEC Network this Saturday. You've got Tennessee hosting UTEP, 12 o'clock on ESPN Plus on the SEC Network Plus. Tennessee is now a 40.5-point favorite. There was money line on it last night that Tennessee was a 42.5 or 42-point favorite. It's moved back a little bit to 40.5. Again, I think this is going to be the same as Georgia.
Yeah.
I know that Tennessee had a hard time last week against Georgia in the spotlight game of the week. Knocked themselves pretty much out of contention for a CFP berth.
Yeah. So
they're looking at New Year's Dabo.
I think they're probably the 5th best team maybe in the SEC right now, but I don't think they're in the top. I think 4 are getting in. And as I said, I think that's Ole Miss, Texas, Alabama, and Georgia. And I think that's 4 that should. I think Tennessee's 5th, but I don't think they're going to get in. And you're right. I mean, now, if they want out, if they've got to play Vanderbilt. They've got to play Vanderbilt too. So they've got, I mean, that's not exactly going to be a cakewalk, but not an easy walk in the park. But Texas got to play A&M at A&M. So, I mean, so A&M may sneak in there somewhere. So we'll see. I mean, I'll tell you, South Carolina's been the biggest surprise to me in the SEC this year.
Shane Beamer's done a hell of a job over there in Palmetto State.
I thought Dow Loggins, people whining about him as an offensive coordinator because he didn't do well in the pros. Had nothing to do with college. Is
Justin Stepp still over there?
Recruiting machine, man. Huh?
Is Justin Stepp still their wide receivers coach, or did he move on?
No, he went to Illinois.
Illinois, okay.
He went with Brett Bielema for some reason. Because he went home. Well, I say for some reason because he went home to Columbia. That was the big deal about it.
Yeah.
I'm leaving Arkansas because I'm going home because he's from Columbia, South Carolina.
Yeah.
And then he goes and leaves there for Illinois. I don't know what happened
scratcher.
there. But no, he's at Illinois. That's where he's at.
Gotcha.
He left. I don't know if he was told to leave or what, but because that was a strange deal. I didn't get that because it was they wanted him to stay here to Arkansas, and I wouldn't leave for anywhere but home, and then he leaves there for Illinois, and I'm, coaching with Bielema. I don't know.
All right, Tennessee noon on ESPN Plus and SEC Network Plus. 2:30 ABC following the Florida Ole Miss game is going to be Texas hosting Kentucky. Texas is a 20-point favorite. I don't know if Kentucky has enough in the tank to pull another Ole Miss out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Mark Stoops saw what that three high safety look did to Quinn Ewers, and I fully anticipate them running that to see if they can confuse him again and give them a chance.
Well, I mean, Kentucky's a team that you can't count them out. I mean, they almost beat Georgia.
Yep.
They did beat Ole Miss. They've played. They've lost some games that leaves you scratching your head how they lost them. But then they played some of the better teams they played. They played their butts off against some of the better teams, Jason. So
yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me at all if they gave Texas a good. I think Texas will win, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if Texas struggled some against them. It would not surprise me at all.
Well, if they do, so that means that they're going to be, if they struggle this week against Kentucky, that is 2 straight weeks that they've struggled going into that A&M game. And that's just a bitter rivalry as you get. And they haven't played each other in 12 years.
A&M is capable of beating anybody in College Station. They are capable of beating anybody. Now, I know Notre Dame went there and won earlier in the year, so they can be beat there. But I think Texas will beat them. But I'm just saying that's a game that if I'm Texas, I'm not feeling – right now, this race for the 4 teams, because I think it's what it's going to come down to. The Big Ten's getting 4, SEC's getting 4, ACC gets 1, the Big 12 gets 1, Boise State gets in, and then Notre Dame gets in. I think that's your 12 teams. That's how they're going to do it. And so, but if I'm Texas, I'm a little shaky about. I feel good where I'm sitting at number 3 because you're the highest ranked SEC team. But you lose to A&M.
They're in a house of cards right now.
Yeah, it's that's a dangerous scenario playing Kentucky and then playing A&M. Those are 2 teams that are capable. Kentucky, you sit there and say they shouldn't be capable of beating Texas, but hey, look, they did beat Ole Miss and they almost beat Georgia. So they proved that they can play with the elite of the SEC. As I've said, Ole Miss and Georgia's 2 of the better teams in the SEC. Now they get a chance against Texas. So they've played those elite teams. They even beat Ole Miss. So who knows how that's going to turn out? I think Texas will win it, but
I don't think they cover.
What'd you say? It is 20 points?
Yeah,
it'll be tough. That's 3 touchdowns. That's going to be asking a lot. I mean, the other teams are not beating Kentucky like that. The elite teams are not beating Kentucky like that. Now they're capable of doing it, but all I'm saying is that hasn't been the case so far for the better teams to beat them like that.
Yep. 2:30 ABC this Saturday. South Carolina hosts the Wofford Terriers. 3 p.m. on ESPN Plus and the SEC Network Plus. There's no line on this one. I fully anticipate crew. They're going to go in. They're going to take care of business. It's going to be a pretty open and shut case as far as that goes. I don't think it's going to be too hard of a day for Lenora Sellers and Rocket Sanders. They're going to go in there. They're going to take care of business.
I do too. I agree. I think South Carolina, like I said, it's a surprise. I think they're in line for a pretty good bowl game. They're not going to get the playoffs, but I do think they're in line for a pretty good little bowl game somewhere. And I think some bowl game is going to be happy to get them. They travel well too. Their fans travel. Even when they were going through the long losing streak years ago when Houston was the coach here, and they were going through some long losing streaks, their fans still showed up. Now, if they're at South Columbia, now with that said, they would leave at halftime because they were getting just blown out. But their fans were loyal. They would show up and stay, but then game get out of hand, they'd leave. But they were showing up. But they travel well, and I think some bowl game is going to really be anxious to get the Gamecocks, and because they're playing, they've got a good team. They're playing well. They're exciting, and they're going to show up. Fans are going to show up and spend money in your city when you take them too.
Yep. So last week, Wofford gave up a 17-point half lead and a huge second half collapse to the Citadel. And, Citadel was picked to be last in the conference of the SoCon. And for them to have such a collapse at the end of the game last week, you just have to think that Wofford's coming into this pretty much licking their wounds and wanting to get in, get that payday, and get home.
Yeah, and that's what they're going to get. And these teams are all like Arkansas. All these teams you're talking about, all these teams except for Texas and Kentucky and the other SEC game you mentioned, they just need to take care of business, man, and wrap this thing up here and get ready to finish out the SEC season. Take care of these are all rental wins, is what they are. These are all rental wins. All these teams you're talking about, Louisiana Tech, Wofford, all those teams, those are just rental wins, and you've got to take care of business against them. UMass, all of them, and blow them out and get these games over with at halftime. And cruise in the second half, have you a healthy roster going into game 12, because that's going to, the 12 game 12, 14th week of the season, but game 12, because Missouri, Arkansas, A&M, Texas, you got Alabama, Auburn, you got some games that there can be some key matchups in those games. You want as healthy a roster as possible for those games.
Yeah, Leslie Byram thinks that South Carolina is playing like one of the best teams in the conference right now, and they really are. They're solid.
Yeah, they are. They dug too big a hole to get in the playoffs, but yeah, they're one of the better teams right now. I mean, I promise you, none of those top 4 teams would want to play them right now.
No.
Or top 5 counting Tennessee. I don't think any of those teams would be anxious to say, "Hey, I want to play South Carolina." I don't think Dabo Swinney's going to be excited to play them next week. They're going to hate Dabo and Clemson, I think. So we'll see. But South Carolina kind of dug themselves a hole in the SEC early, losing some games. But yeah, right now, Listen's right. They're one of the better teams in the SEC. They might be one of the 4 best right now, but they're not going to get in the playoffs. But they're right now. Honestly, right now, and I'm probably leaving somebody out, I would put them 6th. And I know I've got them ahead of LSU if I do that, but I have no issue putting them ahead of LSU. I'd probably put them number 6 right now. If I was doing power rankings, I'd put Tennessee. I've already told you who I think the top 4. I'd have Tennessee 5, South Carolina 6. Then we start talking about the next 8, but LSU would probably be up there somewhere.
LSU and Vanderbilt both same record.
Yeah, LSU, Vanderbilt. I'm doing this without any looking at the schedule. A&M. I'm sorry. A&M would be up. A&M would probably be
above Vanderbilt and LSU. Sure.
A&M would probably be 7th. If I put South Carolina 6th, A&M 7th, and then LSU would be 8th. Vanderbilt somewhere in there. And then you get into the Arkansas, the Floridas, the Kentuckys, those teams.
Yeah. Again, that is going to be on SEC plus SEC Network plus ESPN plus 3 p.m.
You'd be down there quite a ways in my power rankings. OU would be. It's weird to say that, man. But they'd be way down in my power. They might be.
I know.
Mississippi State would be 16th, but OU might be 15th. They really might be.
I can't. I don't know. That's tough to put them below Auburn, though. That's really tough.
Yeah, they beat Auburn too. Yeah, they beat Auburn. Okay, I forgot about Auburn. Okay, 14th then. But who would have thought going into the season that OU would be 14th in the rankings, or even be in the discussion to be the 14th rated team in the SEC out of 16.
That is crazy to think. You got Mississippi State hosting Missouri this weekend. Missouri had a really rough win last weekend. Brady Cook finally got back on the field after getting injured against Alabama a couple of weeks ago.
Got beat last week, didn't they?
Did they? Oh, they did get beat. I'm sorry, they did get beat. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
They beat OU, but he came back. You're right, and they almost came back and beat South Carolina.
Yeah,
South Carolina got.
It was 34-30. That's correct. Yeah,
I'm telling you, man. Mississippi State is capable of hanging some points on them, though, because Missouri will win that game. But I mean, hey, that game could be more interesting than people think. Mississippi State can hang some points on you, man. They can do it. And I think they will put points up against Missouri.
I've got Missouri winning 34-27. I think it's going to be a pretty close game. I think there's going to be a lot of scoring. It's going to come down to 2 factors. Can Brady Cook be effective, and who is going to have the ball last? Those are the 2 factors, I believe.
I think Missouri wins it, and I think they do win, but it's going to be Mississippi State should be able to score pretty much on them like they have other teams. That would be an interesting game. That could be an interesting game. That's one that you might like I said, I think Missouri gets out there. Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about Mississippi State's probably 16th in the SEC, but man, they're capable. That offense, they have a terrible defense, man. Their defense is god awful.
Putrid.
But,
they're putrid.
Oh, they're just terrible on defense, man. They can stop anybody, but their offense is competitive, very competitive. And yeah, I know they give up some sacks, or they give up this and that, but big deal. They put points up on everybody they played. They hung up points on Georgia even, so they put points up and put some points up. Missouri's not a great defensive team. That could be an interesting game. Missouri wins, but it could be more interesting than people think.
I think that's why I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Missouri's only a 7.5-point favorite.
Yeah.
3:15 on the SEC Network this weekend. Also, next you've got this is what we talked about the last couple of weeks in forecasting at the first of the season, where the thick of this schedule for Oklahoma comes in. You've got Alabama coming into Oklahoma into Norman. Alabama's a 13.5-point favorite, 6:30 on ABC. Last time Oklahoma hosted Alabama was in 2003, and they ended up getting a 10-point win against Alabama. But again, that was 2003. They have played more recently than that in the Sugar Bowl, but you don't want to see Alabama coming into your house at this time of the season. They're 5-5. They play LSU next week. Oklahoma's not getting. I don't think they're going to get to a bowl this year.
No, they've got to beat Texas. They've got to beat Alabama to do it. Well, they could go to LSU and win. They could, but don't hold my breath on that. But yeah, Oklahoma probably going. In all likelihood, they're probably going to go 5-7. But yeah, they're not very good. And that's what I was getting at earlier. I mean, whether you put them 14th, 13th, wherever in the power rankings, they're just not. You didn't expect that the first year, right? But we knew they probably weren't going to be prepared for the SEC. It's a lot different than to face an SEC team 1 week and then go back to your Big 12 schedule after that. It's a lot different doing that than it is playing them 1 week, because you can focus on that team and then go back and play your other team. When you play a Texas 1 week and then you face an Alabama the next week, you face an LSU the next week, you play an Arkansas, then you play an A&M. It's just a murderous row, man.
It is.
That's why I don't understand them wanting to go to 9 SEC games. All they're doing is making it where SEC's beating up on each other and making it harder to get in the playoffs, because they're going to have 3 losses,
and then you're giving the ACC and the Big 12 another shot to get a team in there.
I get what they're saying. The positives are. I get that, but you got to look long and hard at that, man. Right now, hell, I mean, if you're talking about Tennessee 5th, you're talking about South Carolina and A&M 7th. There's probably, I promise you, those 7 teams. I don't know if BYU honestly could go to any of those 7 schools and win. I don't know. I don't know if they could. I don't know that Penn State would win. I don't know that that Miami would go there and win. Yeah. And you're talking about 7 SEC schools. I just don't. I don't know, man. I just don't think there's. I think they better think long and hard. I know they've made a lot of decisions. They've all turned out like gold. But they better think long and hard about playing 9 conference games, because I'm just telling you. They're going to beat up on each other, and it's going to hurt you in the playoff race. And there's going to be teams get in, like you said, from the ACC or the Big 12 that aren't nearly as good, but they have 1 loss or something as opposed to 3 losses, and their staff's going to pick them because they got fewer losses, but they don't play the SEC schedule. And that's all you're doing. You're just adding another game to beat up on each other, man. And that's the last thing right now the SEC needs, is another game to beat up on each other. They're already doing that. And next week, you're talking about that with the schedule you'll have next Thursday on this story, your picks, or I guess maybe Wednesday, but Thursday, Thanksgiving, but whether it's Wednesday or Thursday, you run your story. But what I'm saying, there's going to be some schools in there then that's going to be looking at getting their playoff champs hurt, because they're going to be playing each other.
Yeah, I'm looking at this too. Jalen Milroe has made a hell of a Heisman Trophy type campaign. He's got 2,840 yards of total yards. That's between rushing and passing. He's got 32 total touchdowns and 6 interceptions on the season. He's the sole reason why Alabama is at 8-2 right now, 7th in the country, seated right in the middle of the CFP. He's got to be in that top 5, top 3 Heisman voting at the end of this season.
Well, the 2 guys that were supposed to be, he was 13 preseason All SEC quarterback, Jalen Milroe was. But I don't remember who was first, whether it was Beck or yours, but those were the top 2. Yeah, and both of them have struggled some this season, not been what people thought. They've been bad, but they're not. Neither one of them have been what people thought they would be. And so it's kind of opened up the space there for some guys like the quarterback at Vanderbilt, the quarterback.
Rico Pavia.
some of these guys to maybe come on Milrow and some of these guys to have a chance for that all SEC in some of the picks, So Beck and yours just haven't had the seasons that a lot of people thought they would have. Neither one of them.
Diego Pavia, yeah. Yeah, it's Diego Pavia. Again, that's Oklahoma, Alabama, 6:30 on ABC Saturday night. You've got Auburn hosting Texas A&M, 6:30 on ESPN. A&M is only a 2.5-point favorite, Otis.
2.5?
2.5. It almost sounds to me like it's a trap game in a way for bettors, not for A&M, because the money line on being a 2.5-point favorite does not make a damn bit of sense. Kind of like what Vanderbilt was a couple of weeks ago when they weren't favored against Auburn. I don't understand why the wise guys are out here putting these lines against Auburn. They're waiting for the offense to take off. Peyton Thorne is started to catch fire a little bit, so is Jarquez Hunter. But that A&M front seven is going to dominate that Auburn offensive line, which is horrid this season.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I didn't understand them being favored over Vanderbilt either, and they got their butt kicked. I mean A&M will beat Auburn, and I don't care. Yeah, it's at Auburn, right?
Yeah, at Auburn.
You get 3 points for being the home team. So actually, they're saying that actually they're almost picking Auburn to win.
Yeah, Auburn being a half-point.
Only doing 2.5. So I mean. I don't get that because I've seen both teams play this year. Arkansas played both of them. You saw them. I mean, you saw them. But I mean, I've seen them other games too. And I just don't. I was shocked when I heard that they were favored over Vanderbilt. And I can't believe the 2.5-point pick this week. I don't gamble, but if I did, my money would be on.
I'd be putting money on A&M to cover that all day long. Because they're gearing up for Texas next week. They're looking at Auburn, but they're not taking them serious because they've got Texas next week, and that is where their focus is going. It has got to be there.
I think they can overlook. Auburn and still win the game.
Same here.
I think they can overlook Auburn and still win the game. Is what I'm saying.
Yep.
In my opinion, I'm not saying they will overlook Auburn, but I'm just saying I think they could and still win the game.
Yep. And 6:30 ESPN Saturday night. Vanderbilt is traveling to LSU to Death Valley. LSU is a 7.5-point favorite. I kind of like the fact that Vanderbilt in the points in this game because I think that Diego Pavia is going to be able to keep the game close going into the fourth quarter. I think that LSU fans, they're going to show up, but they're not going to show up in the way that you see whenever the team is an 8-2. Both teams are both 6-4, 3-3 in the SEC. This could be kind of a letdown game before LSU hosts Oklahoma to finish the season. Vanderbilt might be able to go in there and sneak another one out this season.
Yeah, if I'm LSU, I'm not feeling comfortable at all in that game.
No.
I'm not feeling comfortable at all. So I think LSU reeling right now. I think the fans are mad at Kelly. Like I said, his buyout probably the only thing that may save, especially if they lose this game. Even if they beat OU, but if they were to lose out and he goes 6-6, I guess that buyout would save him. I don't know, but I think it would. But I don't know. But I think they'll beat OU. Beating Vanderbilt, I'm not sure they will.
Yeah, that's well. In Tennessee's
straight up. I don't know against the spread, but just straight up. I'm not sure they'll beat Vanderbilt.
Yeah, and then Vanderbilt's hosting Tennessee next week. So
that's a game. If I'm Tennessee, I'm shaking my boots about that game. That's another game. They're scary. Vanderbilt's a team you don't want to play this year. They're just a team you don't want to play. You should beat them, but you don't. Texas barely beat them. I'm just telling you, man. They're a dangerous team, and you don't want to play them right now. Yeah.
They really are. Leslie Byram put a score prediction for Saturday. I think that Arkansas is going to win 44-17. And also the Arkansas Euler game, 77-58 Arkansas over Euler in basketball tomorrow night as well. And Kevin will get you all covered and caught up. He's got 2 shows planned for tomorrow, so make sure to keep on the lookout on social media and on the YouTube channel as well for all of his work. Well, Otis, let's get you out of here, my guy. It's about that time. I got to get some food, and I want to get to the house, and I want to watch some Matlock. You seen that yet?
Matlock?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen it some. Yeah, I like the old series better, but I've got the Lakers tonight, 9:30, man.
Gotcha.
9:30, Lakers and Orlando.
Hey, Anthony Black. There you go.
He scored 17 last night, if I'm not mistaken, against Flop City. So hopefully he doesn't have a big game tonight. But I'm looking forward to Saturday night. I'm really excited about that one, Lakers and Denver. I'm looking forward to JJ Redick against Denver, not Pockets coaching against them. It's JJ Redick. So looking forward to that, man.
He still have a job?
Pockets, he's an assistant coach with the Bucks. And Bucks are the most underachieving team between him and Doc Rivers right now. They're struggling, man.
That's why I was asking if he's still got a job yet, because I know how bad they've been this year. With all that firepower, with Giannis, with Dame, kidding me?
Yeah. Well, Bobby Portis. I mean, they've got Brooke Lopez. They've got players, but they can't get out of their own way, man. Between Doc Rivers and Pockets, they're really struggling, man.
Yeah, they are. Well, everybody, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. Be sure to join us on Saturday at 1 o'clock, either at Torchys in Fayetteville or here on the YouTube channel. I want to thank Otis for jumping on with me tonight.
Sure.
And we are here live at Torchys every Thursday night at 7 o'clock. For Otis, myself, Jason, y'all take care and go Hogs.
Y'all, it's time for some damn good tacos in college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchys Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk. Y'all, it's time for some damn good tacos in college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchys Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattison. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchys is the place. Torchys' location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory. Torchys has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchys has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs.